Hey, what's up YouTube? Mar here from Little Ladies, and today I'll be showing you my siege defenses for this past season, and I'll be exposing all my runes and artifacts on them. This was a highly requested video that I did last season. I felt like it affected my defense win rate early on in the season because I didn't switch my runes on some of the defenses. So if you don't mind, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I may keep a couple of these defenses next season, but for the most part, I'll be moving a lot of stuff around. Also, I do want to note that my defenses changed a lot over this past season, and this is some of the stuff I have been running for the last few weeks. I'm going to start from the top down. The ones at the bottom are the defenses I typically have been running recently. This top one isn't actually a defense, it was just something that I was using for speed tuning purposes. Now this one was a defense that I've been running the entire season. Claire, Lume, Fuki. Here are my Claire's runes. I switched her Swift setup from the last season, so she's a bit faster. And then here is my Lume. She is on a Vile Revenge set. I have been slowly taking away from her runes, so she's been getting slower and slower. And then here is my Fuki. These are some of the defenses that I'll most likely get rid of next season. I also switched my Fuki to minus win. I don't think he was on minus win last season. But yeah, most likely I'll probably de-rune this defense. It did well at the beginning of the season. I got a few wins, but for the most part, it just completely fell off. Next up, I have my Khmun Eshir Monte. I think I haven't switched up the runes since last season, so they have been the same. I might have switched a couple of things around, but nothing too different. It's pretty much the same thing. And if you're wondering why I have plus 12 on the slot, it's because of speed tuning issues. I think if I would have put a grind, it would have made him faster than the Monte. I never really checked it, so it could be false. But here are my Monte's runes. Again, this is another defense that I'll probably dismantle. It's a little bit old. It worked a bit in the beginning of the season, but then it started to fall off. Next up, I have this Triana, Suiki, and Molly team. I built this one just to be kind of anti-Lucian proof, so I built them pretty tanky. Although I didn't really put that much minus win on the Triana, and I should have probably put a shield set as well, but this wasn't a defense that we were running. It was just one of them that I built off to the side, just in case we needed some more defenses. But no one else ever built them. We did run into a guild that was running a couple of towers of these, and it was kind of difficult for our guild to deal with it. I would just Lucianed it, to be honest. Then next up, we have Tessa, Praha, and Tyrannus, another defense that I just had built that I never used. This used to be my old Tessa on offense. It's really outdated, as you can tell by this artifact. I haven't really touched them in a while, but I will most likely be switching them up next season. Hint, hint. Here's my Praha as well. I haven't really touched her. I did have her on a better set at a point, but then I stopped using her and I nerfed her, as you can tell by this slot 1. It's not even maxed. And then here's my Tyrannus. I haven't really been using him as much as I would like, but with the buff next season, I'll probably be using him a little bit more. And I hope to switch this first artifact because the attack isn't really doing anything. Try to get some more HP on him. Maybe even put him on crit damage, we'll see. Next up is my Sierra, Nora, Theo. This was one of the defenses that I was running for quite some time. Although my Sierra did get nerfed a long time ago, I haven't really been using her. I decided to not use her. But with her buff, she might be useful next season, so I'll probably rune her back up, make her a little bit faster. Same thing with my Nora. I kind of nerfed her a bit. She used to be a little bit faster, but I ended up using her set elsewhere, so she's a little bit slower. I might even switch her to Vile, but I don't think I'm going to use her for defense next season. Here's my Theo. This used to be my Theo that was on my Claire Savannah Theo team, but I decided to switch that one up for Tessa instead. So I just decided to put my Theo into this team. Then we have this Harmonia, Vigor, and Jubel defense. I built it up. Another one of those defenses that I didn't expect to be used, and we never used it, to be honest. I have a minus 23 on water for her left artifact, and I don't even have recovery on this other one. And then here is my Vigor. I think this used to be the Vigor that I would run with Heinz and Lume way back then, a couple seasons ago. He used to have a heavier minus win set. I think I'm using it for someone else right now on offense. I'm not too sure. So most likely next season, I'm only going to rune up like 5 decent defenses, and then the rest I'm just going to leave empty. Try to put my best runes on the 5 and then leave them as is. For this next one, we have Mihyang, Cichlid, and Perna. This was one of the defenses that I runed up towards the end of the season. It got a few wins. This Mihyang is missing a couple of grinds, and she's also missing skill ups since I built her kind of recently. But if I use her next season, I will be fully skilling her up. and throwing some grinds. She has minus wind and some crit damage on the other slot. Here's my Cichlid. She is on a Vile Nemesis set. She's on speed, HP, accuracy. I only have her on accuracy slot 6 because I couldn't find anything else that was fast enough. And either way, she doesn't have skill ups. I don't like using her without the skill up, so I'm probably going to take her off the defense next season. She has minus wind on the left with attack main. And then we have some skill 3 accuracy on the right. If I could get some skill ups and put her on a Vile Will set, then I probably will run her next season. But I already have another one. And then here's my Perna. I don't think my Perna's changed over the season. She's still the same. She's missing a grind here. I'll probably throw it in. And then we have plus wind on the left, plus water. I would say just going for heavy wind and some crit damage if you're running a crit damage build. And then have some crit damage, skill 1 and skill 2 on the right side. This defense is probably something that you might see next season, as well as this one, Mihyang, Cichlid, and Monte. We have my Mihyang on a Vile Shield set. This is the Mihyang that I typically use for my Lucian offenses. Works pretty well. This is one of my more recent defenses. It would get wins towards the end of the season. And I would switch out the Monte for something like a Guillaume at some points, just testing it out. The Cichlid is missing a grinder here. I'm probably going to throw that in when I switch her runes. And then we have some minus fire on the left. I would try to go for a little bit more minus fire. The additionals are kind of nice, I guess. And then we have some accuracies for skill 3 on the right. And then here's my Monte on a Vile Guard build. Really fast. I want him to take the first turn. Then have the Cichlid follow up with her skill 3. And Mihyang hopefully snipe with her skill 2. Last but not least, here's my Clara Savannah Tessa. This Clara is on the Despair Will set. She is on speed, HP, and defense. This one has a decent amount of accuracy in this slot, but I would like for her to have higher accuracy and higher speed. Then here's my Savannah. She is on a Vio Will set. I think this is the same one as last season. I don't think I really changed much. I just put some plus win on this left artifact. But yeah, and then here's my Tessa, the one that I've been kind of hiding for the most part this season. Speed, crit rate, and then we have some HP. We have some plus win on the left, and then some crit damage on the right side. I might be switching it up to crit damage for next season. I'll make sure to switch things up in some sort of way. But yeah, these last 3 defenses are probably something that you're going to see next season. You might be seeing some Sierras next season. I can't really think anything else. These top 5 defenses are probably going to be dismantled by me. Same thing with this one. The Sierra one's going to be changed. These Mihyang ones are going to be changed. And I'm going to probably change the runes up on this one as well. Now we're going to have a little bit of reverse psychology here. I may or may not change the runes on this one. So be prepared for that. So here are some of the mons that I think we're going to be seeing next season. I think we'll still be seeing a lot of Chandras as well as Miyangs because of their speed leads. Then we'll also be seeing some Theos. I don't think Theo's ever going to go away anytime soon, especially with that Geldnir Ophelia defense. Then we have the Water Ryu. I've been seeing him less and less, but I still think we'll be seeing him next season. Now let's just pretend that this is a Maximilian. I think we'll be seeing some Maximilians for sure next season. He's pretty good, especially with that 24 lead. And now pretend that this is not a Minato, and we'll be seeing some Zens and some of the LD versions of these as well. Especially after their buffs, they might be a little bit more interesting. I also think we're going to be seeing some Claras. I don't think Clara's going to go away anytime soon because of her speed lead, and her AI is pretty good. Then we have Pernas. Pernas are really good. Same thing with Tessas. They're really good against Leos. And I think Leos have been a really big problem in Siege offense lately. Now this one's a pretty interesting one, but I think we might be seeing some Shoguns. There were a few Shoguns in the tournament. They were paired with Sierra, and Sierra after this buff might be pretty nice for Siege defense. I might even re-rune her up like I said earlier. Cichlid, I don't think Cichlid is going to go away anytime soon. She has a really good skill 3 if she uses it, if you have her skill set to use it. Savannahs as well. I think we're still going to be seeing a lot of Clara Savannah Theos, Clara Savannah Tessas, Clara Savannah X. Now let's imagine that this is a Kinky. I don't think Kinky is going to go away anytime soon. Then we have Driller. Driller was a really interesting one we saw in the Siege tournament. I think he might be used pretty often, and I think it's cool that we can use one of the new 2A mons for defense. Now we don't see Mimir too often, but I feel like we can maybe see him next season. He does have that 24 lead. There might be some interesting defenses with him. Now let's pretend that this is the dark one instead of the light one, Vitra. I think Vitra is going to be a pretty solid choice for Nat 4 defenses. And I think Guillaume might be pretty interesting. We might be seeing Mihyang Cichlid Guillaume, Mihyang Cichlid X, which is Monte, or Khmun Eshir. Some interesting stuff. Maybe even a Dezio. Now, I don't think we're going to be seeing the Dezio next season, but imagine that this was the water one. I think we're going to be seeing the water one pretty often. And last but not least, here is the Grego. He is getting a buff. It would be pretty interesting to see him in Siege again. He was in Siege for a bit, then went away. And I think he has a pretty interesting kit. Do I think he's really going to be in Siege next season? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. It all depends on the balance patch after doing some testing to see if the buffs actually made a difference. Then at that point, he might be on defense. Same thing with Sierra and other mods that might be getting a buff. Like the Fire Steel Commander, which I just pulled recently. I'm looking forward to building him if he's actually going to be useful. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my defenses. I wish I could show you my defense win rate, but they reset. I do have my total defense wins right here. Same thing with my offense. I didn't hit 300 unfortunately on offense and 200 on defense. This was a pretty rough season for defense wins. And for offense, I did miss a couple of sieges, unfortunately. And the last siege, oh my god. You'll probably see that after this video. It just went bad. But either way, if I went 10-0, it wouldn't have been enough. If you're interested in seeing what offenses I'll most likely be using next siege, let me know. And if there's enough people interested, I'll make a video on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, as it really helps out my channel. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.